Dr. Hayden, also known as the Seraphim Samur, is really complicated, especially his personal relationship with the Doomslayer. Yet, after completing Doom 2016, Eternal, and the Ancient Gods, I've had the opportunity to examine his character overall, now that his arc is completed. Most notably the opportunity to evaluate why I revered him so much throughout the series. This video will contain spoilers for Doom 2016 and Eternal's lore combined, so if you ever plan to play the game for yourself or were interested in diving into the lore throughout the gaming experience, subscribe to the channel, go play the games, and come back when you're good. With that disclaimer out the way, let's get it. Yo. I love Dr. Hayden, especially after completing 2016. I was intrigued by his character design, being a scientist's consciousness embedded in a towering robotic construct. Whenever he spoke, it was sound logic devoid of petty emotion. The sound of his voice fit his cybernetic appearance, being deep and on a wavelength the human vocal cord couldn't emulate. Whenever he communicated with the Slayer or Vega, he fit the role of a director, like a born leader. Someone who always had a solution regardless of how dire the situation was.
You may not agree with our research, but know this. We exploited Hell and its resources because it was in mankind's best interest to do so. What you now see in this facility is the cost of progress. But none of that matters now.
Therefore, after completing Doom 2016's campaign, I found myself wanting to know more about the Good Doctor, eagerly waiting for the sequel, and in spite of many in the Slayer community having the opposite stance, I was in the minority of those who supported him. With limited lore and backstory during 2019, and given the nature of the Doomslayer to do whatever he wants to do, with or without advice to defeat the demon onslaught, I honestly believed that Dr. Hayden was here to help, even while being aware of his self-absorbed and manipulative traits.
We spent decades perfecting the science, selling it to humanity. We balanced their hell energy with our science, making it usable and safe. We solved an energy crisis the world had no answer for. It works. You cannot do this.
I still found myself agreeing with his motivations and genuinely thought he wanted the best for humanity. By in a way employing the Slayer's help in stopping Olivia, who became a pawn of the demons on Mars. This sentiment was even carried over to Doom Eternal, where we saw how he organized the Ark in order to safeguard humanity from the demon invasion, then providing guidance and assistance to the Slayer after almost perishing in a desperate counterattack during the invasion of Earth, aiding the Slayer in stopping the Makers and the Icon of Sin. Even in the beginning of Ancient Gods, where it's revealed that he is a Seraphim Samur and continued to assist the Slayer in his quest to eradicate the demons, I was up in arms when the Slayer destroyed the Father's Orb, telling myself, man, this guy causes all his problems, he just loved the smoke. But after the Ancient Gods finale, after it was revealed that Davith was the actual father, and that Vega was his creation who betrayed him, I started to wonder, was the Slayer instinctually in the right to not trust anyone?
They lied to you, Slayer. Amora and its people would have been perfect, if not for the treachery of my servants. They sealed me away, stole my power and name. And now, the time has come for a reckoning.
This holy shit moment encouraged me to go back and examine why Doomguy went against Hayden after navigating the swamps, thinking to myself that it couldn't be because Hayden took the demon crucible and teleported him away at 2016. That would be too petty, especially after Hayden helped the Slayer throughout the second half of Doom Eternal, saving the Earth. So I went back, starting all the way from the beginning of 2016, watching for any clues throughout their interaction in the campaign that hinted into why the Slayer turned his back on Dr. Hayden in the end. With the end of the Ancient Gods Part 2, with all that we witnessed in the Codex entries we were able to read, watching the way Dr. Hayden moved now was eye-opening. I found myself relinquishing my support and agreeing with Doomguy's decisions. Dr. Hayden Samur deserved what he got, and it was all karma. Beginning with the first interactions of 2016, since the Slayer is the Doom guy from the previous Doom entries, his PTSD due to prior experience with the demons automatically makes him hate all denizens of hell. You can imagine his range of emotions when he wakes up to the intentional catastrophe that was the UAC Mars base. Dead bodies everywhere, wakes up naked chained to a coffin, with zombies lurking around waiting to devour him. He musters up enough energy to break out of the chains, kills the zombies with a measly handgun, and witnesses a projection of someone who's saying he should never be released. After all that bullshit, and finally getting some armor to protect himself, some douchebag on the terminal says to him,
Welcome.
What? Welcome? Seriously? It's not a good first impression. For the first parts of the game, Dr. Hayden is using any means to get you to cooperate with him, contacting you through terminals, elevators, seducing the Slayer with Vega's personal assistance.
Hello, I am Vega, the sentient intelligence assigned to Mars.
Explaining the humanitarian work of producing renewable energy for Earth using Argent. And the biggest one, pitting Olivia as the main cause of the demonic invasion of Mars. While she is at the root for the catastrophe, it doesn't excuse that Dr. Hayden brought her on board. He knew exactly what her work consisted of in order to harness Argent energy. Dr. Hayden is her boss. He allowed her to create a cult-worshipping hell. He exposed her to the hell artifacts that manipulated her mind to go crazy. There are countless projections throughout the game that give evidence to this.
We are not advancing enough applicants, and our faith is nothing without believers. We cannot conduct our work without them.
And what kind of work is it that you're doing, Olivia? I haven't seen a report from your team in months now, have I? Can I trust that you can maintain your distance and control of the situation?
Of course. I believe in our work, but in order to make progress, we will have to make even greater sacrifices.
This isn't progress, it's madness. The board understands the peculiar nature of your work, and no one is in the dark on what those sacrifices mean to mankind. But your judgment is no longer considered sound.
Not only is he responsible for Olivia Pierce going rogue, he manipulates and hinders the Slayer's progression throughout the game, locking him out from accessing the satellite in order to force the Slayer to come talk to him at the Vega terminal.
I'm blocking your access to the facility scanner. Come to the Vega terminal, and I'll give you what you need.
Once at the terminal, he exposes him to pure Argent energy, which had a 50% chance to kill the Slayer upon consumption.
Take it. It will give you strength, help you on your journey, if you can withstand the power surge.
Baiting the Slayer with the promise of a gift of power to help him in his crusade. Never mind that the Slayer wants nothing to do with anything associated with the demons. Continuing on with the events on Mars, Dr. Hayden tasked the Slayer to rectify what he and Olivia wrought. Tasks that would require the Doom guy to put himself in danger. Destroying all 3 Argent filters, destroying power to the Argent Tower, pursuing Olivia to the Argent Tower, making it back from Hell, obtaining the BFG, gain access to the Helix Stone, defeating the Cyber Demon to get the power source to travel to Hell, obtaining the Crucible, using the security deactivators, destroying the cooling system for Vega, destroy the Vega core, destroying the source of the well, and finally defeating Spider Mastermind aka Olivia Pierce. All of this done without a single shred of help from Hayden. Physical help, that is. He's just admiring the view while administering orders from the safety of his office. Let's not forget, this is a towering 10-foot tall cyborg. He can easily lend a hand to the Slayer for some rip and tearing, stopping the demonic invasion of this Mars facility. We've seen him personally lead expedition teams in Hell to retrieve the Slayer's sarcophagus or other artifacts like the Helix Stone. He's not a stranger to fighting demons, but in this case, he just felt the Slayer had to do all the work. Lastly, after all the work the Slayer did, he swoops in, takes the Crucible, and plays a victim card as if he didn't just steal the glory.
I am not the villain in this story. I do I do because there is no choice.
Then slightly threatens the Slayer while holding him hostage.
I can't kill you, but I won't have you standing in our way. Until we see each other again.
And then poof, whisks him away as if he's some sort of bother. And then comes Eternal. It's been 5 years and Hayden has been playing the Earth's savior, giving speeches to the UN and proposing to use the Crucible as a way to empower Earth's defenses from external threats. Creating the Ark, which mirrors the UAC minus Olivia Pierce's demon cult shenanigans. Plot twist, using the demon Crucible, which harbors Argent energy, attracts demons, causing the invasion of Earth. But guess who arrives in the nick of time to save the day? You guessed it, the Doomslayer. Since the Ark offensive is failing miserably, and as of recently Dr. Hayden almost lost his life, the Slayer, with help from Vega, whom he saved without Hayden's awareness in 2016, has successfully launched a counteroffensive against the demon invasion by killing 2 of the 3 Hell Priests. Yet in order to complete the work, he needs the help of Hayden, who is the only person who knows the location of the last priest. Yet immediately after getting back into contact with Hayden, he overrides the Hall of Doom from Vega, proceeding to give out instructions as if they were still on Mars. Speaking of which, giving the infamous
You can't just shoot a hole into the surface of Mars.
Once taking out the last Hell Priest, Dr. Hayden continues to help the Slayer stop the Makers from destroying Earth. In the midst of doing all this, he regurgitates Sentinel and Maker history as if he was there himself.
The world of Argent has fallen. Divided, the demonic energy flows now to the south, and the society you once knew has been replaced by a corrupted world under Maker rule. It did not need to end this way.
Then proceeds to have the Slayer abandon Vega again. After stopping the Khan Maker and the Icon of Sin, Dr. Hayden and Slayer reconnect with the last of the Ark resistance and the ancient gods. Both Hayden and the Ark help instruct the Slayer to invade the UAC base to retrieve the Seraphim, whom we've come to find out was Hayden all along. Once Samuel reveals he's his true self, he proceeds to do what he does best, offer his help to the Slayer while also belittling him.
Be grateful. Despite your transgressions, you are given the honor to serve the gods yet again.
Then once again, uses the Slayer to save himself and gain access to something he is forbidden to touch. Look at those sleazy money-grubbing finger gestures once the Slayer grabs the Father's spear. I mean, after all that, it's no wonder Doomguy breaks the Father's spear and leaves him behind. Samuel, aka Samuel Hayden, is a product of a cycle of ego and power obsession, following in the footsteps of those who came before him. Those like the Khan Maker, who broke tradition and didn't follow the cycle of passing the mantle and partnering with the demons for Argent energy. Also following in the footsteps of Vega, who betrayed Davith, aka the Dark Lord, who was the true father and the creator of Vega and the Seraphs, taking his mantle and acquiring his power as a new father, leading to him pulling messed up actions like sacrificing Vega's consciousness for his own benefit in Mars. It's as Hugo explained.
Doom Eternal is just a series of a bunch of people who are really bad managers that should be fired. That's it. It's like Samuel's like, I'm going to run everything. I'm going to run it really good. Does a horrible job. The father's like, I'm going to run everything. And oops, I fucked up. Devoth, I'm going to run everything. I'm going to make makers. Are going to, oh God, that blew up. Like, that's all it is. It's just like a series of horrible bosses.
In the end, even after being betrayed and entrapped, Davith's influence helped cause a chain reaction in all these power-hungry beings to create the Doomslayer himself. Although he was created to enact revenge on the Makers and Seraphs, ironically, the Slayer became the end of them all, including Davith. It's as if Doomguy knew instinctively that all of them were part of the problem, and decided to purge it all in order to start from a clean slate. So even though I like the character of Hayden, I finally understand why the Slayer turned his back on Samuel, and I fully support it. If you're still here and made it to the conclusion of this video, I appreciate you taking the time to hear my point of view. What are your thoughts on the Doomslayer's relationship with Samuel Hayden, and how do you view him as a character in the series? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Also, don't forget to leave a like for your boy if you enjoyed this video and similar content on my channel. Speaking of which, go ahead and subscribe and ring that bell to stay up to new videos on the channel, especially the videos concerning Doom. You know the vibes. It's Kaizoku Sleven. Appreciate you.